Welcome to New York Brothers Broadcast. Your host, Kevin, my brother, Kenny. How you doing, brother, man?
I'm all right. I'm a lot happier now that the Knicks are in the second round.
Right.
Play tomorrow the Pacers. It was definitely I had heart palpitations, stress, couldn't sleep. I thought the series was gonna be over against us. I was like, oh man, here we go. We lose this game six, it's over. But they pulled off a win. It was
Yeah.
a great series.
I'll tell you,
Hats off to Philly.
yeah, good competition. My
Right.
bipolarness came out during every game. I was happy one minute, pissed off the next minute, turned them off. It was the end of the world. It was the best day in the world. Oh man, it was just crazy, crazy run.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it all started with game two, right? Game two was that insane comeback with like 7 points or whatever in the last like 28 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it was. You know, and then we lost game three, won game four, so everyone thought that game five was, a done deal. And it should have been a done deal. And here comes a player named Tyrese Maxey just dominating, the last minute against the Knicks,
crazy.
forced it to overtime, and we just ran out of gas. Not really ran out of gas, but some ill-advised plays from Brunson, and
It's
they
all
weren't meshing. But
right. Yeah.
forced the game six, and then we won on the road against Philly. Another nail biter, but
Two on the road. Two on the road. That was not.
right.
I thought every game on the road was not gonna be like we're gonna lose. I thought it was gonna go to game seven. Well, my prediction was game six. I got it right on the nail. Lewis almost had it, but we missed it by quite a couple seconds. I would like to see.
Well, when we won, I was like, if we win game three or game four, we'll take game five. And we should have taken game five, and you know, I remember texting you guys. I was like, "Oh my God, 28 seconds left. Like, that's it. We're up by like
I was
eight
like,
or six."
I was texting people. It's over. We won, and I went way too fast for that.
Yeah. And I was so upset game six because, we were dominating the first quarter. We just dominating and, it was looking good, but you knew that Philly was going to make somewhat of a comeback. But then they really started dominating. I'm like, oh man, here we go. Like, we couldn't hit any shots, but they stuck together and,
You noticed
got
that?
that win.
You think guys like obviously Embiid, but maybe the other guys too, like Kyle Lowry, maybe Tobias Harris. I'm not gonna say Maxi, but maybe at times Maxi. Did they get tired at the end of every game, game four, fourth quarter? Were they just getting out of gas? Because they were in it almost every third quarter.
Yeah, I don't know if they were out of gas, but they kind of relied on their star players. They relied on Embiid and Maxey to pretty much take them home.
Like 40
And
minutes of
I think that's the problem, right? Let's face it, Embiid wasn't 100% healthy. Um, and Maxey seemed like he ran out of gas at game six. He just wasn't hitting shots, thankfully. Um,
was
you
it
know,
was it do you think was it running out of gas or was it the New York Knicks bully ball? Because the Knicks will come at you. They're gonna punch you in the face. I mean, our biggest example of bully ball is Randall, but he ain't here. But everybody else is right there. You think which way?
yeah, I have to give more credit to the Knicks because I think the difference between game five and game six was our rebounding. You can tell that Philly was really trying to put an emphasis on the rebounding, right? Trying to diminish that offensive rebounding for us. And we kind of took it back game six. Josh Hart was grabbing offensive rebounds. I think even DiVincenzo grabbed some offensive rebounds. So I think that was a huge difference. So I think it was more bully ball between the Knicks because these guys will wear you down, right? Tibbs has them so programmed. Like, listen, guys, if you guys got to play all 48 minutes and more, you're playing all 48 minutes and more. So be ready. You get me?
Yeah,
And
Jonathan
I mean,
Macri.
we were doing a seven-man rotation now that Bogey got hurt.
That
Like,
last game
it's
was sick.
crazy.
Like
Like,
probably played 9 minutes. Mitchell played about 20 some minutes, and that's it. So if you take away those 9 minutes from McBride, which is really nothing, it was really a six-man playing in the last game of the year. And
yep.
Macri from Nick's Film School, which I listened to a podcast. Shout outs to them. Great thing they're doing over there. He said it. These minutes that we're physically ready to play, these 48 minutes a game that all these starters are playing. I think the potential play 48, Hart 46, Brunson 40 or 42. He goes, that started from training camp before the season. That is a Tom Thibodeau thing. You can't just do that. You can't just pick up, you can't tell Joel Embiid to do that. He can't do that. He can't play 40, 42 minutes a game and you expect him to have his legs at the last minutes. He got out coached there, if you ask me. What else did you like from the series before I get into the negative? What did you like from did you see?
Um, well, besides Brunson, getting almost 40 points every game, um, I like that these guys, even though they're pretty much role players, right? Because Josh Hart's a great role player, DiVincenzo's a great role player, right? These guys stepped up, and that's what you need, right? We don't have another star. Um, our second scorer, right, Bogey, who can pretty much produce off the bench when Brunson's sitting down. He got hurt, right? He's out for the rest of the year, right? But Josh Hart hitting these shots, going after the rebounds, defending, doing the small things that, you don't really see. Um, and I don't know if like you saw that video that I sent you on YouTube. It's some dude that he's like analyzing Tibbs' defense, right? How they like maneuver everything, right? Anytime Embiid would come in, OG would, kind of close out, but then there was another guy closing out on that guy. So if he kicked it out, it was just, I mean, I gotta give it to Tibbs. He is a mastermind when it comes to defense.
They're all bought in. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
The whole team bought in on whatever Tip says. It starts from Brunson, where he's the example and he's paying attention the most. I'm going to lead by example by buying in, and everybody else just buys in. And everybody wants to do it. It's great. You're right. I mean, the defensive schemes were unbelievable. Shadowing, not shadowing, doubling, not doubling. The timing of every double team was huge. The timing of non-doubling is huge. Tim Dillon is not a guy who likes to double. He holds
correct.
his guys accountable for each. Like if you're gonna try to make a steal, you better make sure your player don't score because Tibbet don't like that. You okay? If you he'll give you the freedom to go for the steal, but you better make sure your player don't score because your player scores. He might even yank you. Remember, you used to yank IQ and Obi all the time. Yeah, he don't play.
Yep.
Something I liked. One of my biggest X factors I said with the podcast that I did with Lewis, was Josh's Hart 3-pointers. You know what he shot in the series?
Like 50%.
43%.
Not bad. Nice.
43%.
That's amazing.
They did a video where they showed Brunson last play, the Knicks' last play of the playoffs against the Miami Heat, where he goes to the corner, he gets doubled, and they point out how Josh Hart is wide open. What does he do? He doesn't pass it to him. He doesn't trust him. His inexperience makes him not pass it to him. What does he do? He passes it to Randall, who's being covered. They steal the ball. Game over. We lose the series. Right? It wasn't a game seven, but it was to get to game seven. It was game six, I think it was.
Right.
And what happens this time? Game six. Hart, Brunson, double team, kind of triple team. If you look at the play,
Yeah.
wide open. Trusts his Hart. Gives him the ball. Hart shoots
And
away.
then Hart does a little fake to DiVincenzo, which keeps the defense right on DiVincenzo. And he's like, oh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm going to shoot it and makes it in, you know.
Talk to me
But
about
yeah,
Tenso because he wasn't playing that much in the beginning of the series. Played a lot game six. I think he played all 48 or 47 minutes. Talk to me about DiVincenzo. Did you agree with it? Did you not agree with it? Why did he do it first?
why do you do what? Let him play a
Not let
lot or?
at the beginning.
Oh, well, I mean, you could tell that he was struggling, right? He was struggling with the defense. He was struggling, trying to cover Maxi
Yeah,
anytime they had to switch.
I agree.
Maxi's incredibly fast. I mean, that kid, unbelievable.
Sure. He was
Um, and I think, in a sense, it was kind of messing him up because what he excels in was his offensive game, and he wasn't bringing that, right? And you saw that Deuce was like, all right, like put me in, coach, I got you. And he was stepping up. So, besides game two, right? Game one, game three, game four, game five, he was non-existent, DiVincenzo. Finally, game six, he had a phenomenal game. I think he had like a little over 20 points. I think he did shot five threes. Um, so
Killed it.
yeah,
We need this guy.
but that's what I like about this team, right? Because they don't make any excuses or anything like that. And that's part of like the mindset that you said, right? With Tibbs, he keeps everybody accountable, right? So if you fucked up, you fucked up. Own up to it, get better, right? So we know like Josh Hart messed up in game five with the free throws. Didn't hit any, right? Allow them to come back. Did he had he made those, that would have probably been game over. Robinson, same thing with the pump fake, against Maxi. So all these guys, they took it. They said, "Hey, I messed up. Just got to play better." That's it. So, and they did.
What didn't you like? What needs to be fixed? What did you see that okay, this has to be this has to be corrected. This has to
Hmm.
be fixed. What do you see? What weakness do we are we going into the next round?
So the only weakness that I can see is uh these guys can shoot the three-pointer, right? Uh, but I mean, what I mean by these guys, I mean like they're bigs, right? Miles Turner, right? Siakam. So they can spread the floor. So you're not going to have Hartenstein covering the paint. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how
Yeah, but Joel Embiid,
Hartenstein, yeah, but you could tell like he wasn't, he was on the outside, but he was mostly inside. You know, he doesn't really live on the
yeah, Joel
three-pointer.
Embiid is a spot up 3-point shooter where you have to be close. And Joel Embiid's like a scorer. So like if he didn't have the ball, he wasn't looking to spot up. So I agree with you. It's a little bit of a different kind of 3-point shooter. So I do agree with you. He's more of a shooter off the dribble, Joel Embiid, which is harder. But Miles Turner is a good spot up shooter. So I agree. Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
And I think our big guys kind of struggle when, they have a big who can shoot, right? Because they're so used to covering the paint, right? That they tend not to play so high up. So it'll be interesting. I know Tibbs is definitely doing his homework, so I'm not gonna be too worried about that. But uh
It's not much you could say that was negative. I mean,
correct. I mean, they just have to hit their shots. I mean, they were getting good looks. So it just wasn't falling in a lot of the games. So I couldn't be upset about that. I think they just need to find a way to score when Brunson sits those 2 minutes, 3 minutes, to get some rest. Is he going to bring Burks in and maybe trust him and say,
I thought he was.
I thought so too, but he didn't. He was like,
Bogdanovich went down, and losing Bogdanovich is big. And
yeah,
we were able to escape 4 games, I think, without him. So the last 2 games all he did was put more minutes on the starters to avoid that. But now a whole series, you might feel that now, you know?
yeah. I
So
think he has to play Burks just like in some, give him 5 minutes, maybe get him 6 points. Maybe he gets hot and he can help score off the bench. But I think this is where you need Deuce to really, really step up. Um, more so than when he was with Philly against Philly.
do you agree with the rotation that he was doing, the minutes he was putting on these players?
I think when it comes to playoffs, you got to do what you got to do, right? And that's what he was doing. All right, you're gonna go with the guys that you trust, the guys that have been, battling all season. So I don't deny that. Um, there is no excuse when it comes to playoffs. There is no like I'm tired, there's too much minutes. You're a professional athlete. If you got to play all game, every game, then that's what you got to do. You know what I mean? You should be able to do that. It's not like you're playing back-to-back games. You have at least a day in between to kind of condition your body and rest. But um, my fear is that if we do beat the Pacers, we're gonna be done by the time we get to the Celtics.
Let's
You
not
know?
worry about that after. You know,
Yeah.
it is at this point. But because just getting to the finals would be a huge victory in the season itself. Not NBA finals, I mean the conference finals. But
Right.
before we get into more into the series of Knicks versus Pacers, I want to talk a little bit about the Pacers. You might not know too much about them. I did do a lot of research and I was watching a couple of their games. I don't know if you know, but I I know Lillard missed one, but I'm not sure if he might have missed two games. Obviously, no Giannis, but yeah, he did miss. So, how good are they really?
So I know that they lead the NBA with like fast pace points. Um, they're but once again, that's during the season. Um, sorry, I just opened an application.
They were a different team before Halliburton
The
got
first half,
the first half. They were unbelievable. I mean,
yeah,
they they were killing the Celtics too. I'm not gonna lie. They beat the Celtics two, three times. They were
and
also
they beat us twice, I believe, and
they
we beat them
were a
once.
team
But
where they scared us. They scared me. I don't know if they're that team. I don't know what happened to Halliburton because he did have half the series he was good and half the series he wasn't against the Bucks. And really, like a team that's not known for their defense, for you not to be, he did have a triple double. He did score 20 points, but I think the first game he didn't do well. I think the second game he did okay, something like that. Or the third game he did okay. Second game he did good. And like the last two games he really did good. But how good is Halliburton? He's an all-star. He made it to the Olympic team, right? I think he made it to Olympic team.
I believe so.
Not mistaken. I know Anthony Edwards did, but I think Halliburton too. So how good is their team? Who knows? I mean, they're like us. They're like a two-headed monster with Halliburton and Siakam, but we don't have our second man, you know,
Right. Well,
Randall.
and that's the thing, right? People forget is that we're missing Randall, so it's really just Brunson and then the other guys,
That's when people say,
right?
"Oh, but Joel Embiid's hurt. He's playing hurt." Okay,
But you got Tyrese Maxey,
playing.
like
You know what I mean? Like if you flip the script, let Randall play hurt and Joel Embiid not play, or Joel Embiid
exactly.
play healthy and Maxi not play, and Randall play hurt. That's the same thing that would have happened. We would have won. They can't win. They can't beat us without Maxi and us have a hurt Randall. Come on. So that was the same thing that happened. We won. I don't want to hear about Joel Embiid being hurt because, hey, again, like you said, it's the playoffs. All hands on deck. No excuses,
That's
man.
right.
In 3 years from now, when we talking about the Knicks beating the Philly, nobody's gonna mention about Joel Embiid being hurt. It don't matter. You don't see that in the books. You know, it
Right.
doesn't matter. And he scored his ass off, man. That guy, I tip my hat to him. He's a beast. Those two guys are beasts. It's the role players that really let them down. It really is the
Right.
role players. Maxi
I mean,
also
I think Kelly Oubre did his job.
he
You
did
get me?
very well, but
He had great games.
Tobias Harris
Um,
so
I
nuts.
think Kyle Lowry really shit the bed for them. He did like a bunch of the
First
little
two,
things.
yeah, the first two
You get me?
games he was
But
there, then he just the energy went off. Tobias Harris is non-existent. It's almost like
yeah,
he probably he's leaving Philly tonight or the day they lost, never coming back because Philly fans don't play, even though they can't even like fill up a stadium. Like, what was that about?
that's crazy, right?
What Knicks fans might go to Indiana. Oh,
Oh,
what?
they'll definitely go to Indiana.
Oh, bro. What? I
It's
mean,
playoffs.
Philly's driving distance. You,
Yeah, no, you know they're going to Indiana,
yeah,
bro.
listen,
There's
what?
crazy Knicks
Why
fans
be
out
out
there.
there?
Yeah. You know,
So,
people taking off like 2 weeks for vacation, just to stay there and but
bro,
listen, I'm not counting the Pacers out. You know, I think we did that last year with the Miami Heat, right? We were like, oh, no Tyler Hero, we got this, blah blah blah, and they beat us and they beat us badly. Um, I think you have to take everything a game at a time and take them serious. They're there for a reason. I understand that the Bucks, they were hurt, um, but they're still the Bucks. They're a good team.
I mean, they have players, but no Giannis and two games of no Lillard. There's no chance they can win a series.
No.
And even the Magic would have beat them. Come on. So I don't know how good they really are. If they, what are they, the fifth seed? No, they're the sixth seed. Yeah, they're the
Right.
sixth. They beat the third seed in other place. So, let's see what they are. Let's get into the series then. I want to do a position by position breakdown. First, I'm just gonna say out loud what the starting lineup for the Indiana Pacers is. Everybody knows what the Knicks starting lineup is, so I'm not gonna go into that. But it's Halliburton at point guard, Andrew Numbar as shooting guard, Aaron Nesmith as small forward, Siakam at power forward, and Miles Turner at center. Okay. Um, let's get into the Halliburton Brunson, the biggest matchup that we're gonna see in this series. Tell me about it, Ken.
Yeah, no, definitely Brunson takes the cake. Um, because I would say Tyrese Maxey is better than Halliburton,
Mhm.
in my opinion. Um,
Okay.
and he and Brunson kind of did his thing with them. And he was defended by these, I mean, Kelly Oubre, man, what a defender. And Batum too, man. Even though Batum was holding him all the damn time, but I was yelling at the TV, like he's holding him. But yeah, I mean, these guys are what, like 6'7", 6'8", right?
Yeah.
And he was still doing his thing. So I don't see Halliburton being able to defend, especially that I'm
Well,
reading that he has back spasms, so
I don't
he's
think
day
he's
to day.
going. He has back spasms right now.
Yeah.
He's hurt. Okay, well that's good. No offense. I don't think you're gonna see too much of Halliburton on him. And plays obviously in quarters, yes. But I think to start the game, you're gonna see Numbar. I'm calling it now. You're gonna see Numbar, and to
Yeah.
finish games, and most important, especially when he gets hot, you're gonna see Siakam on him. You're gonna see a 6'8", 6'9" power forward on him, who's long and rangy. You're gonna.
That's gonna hurt them because you're gonna leave OG like, and I think OG showed that, he can cut, the kid is good, man. He gets into positions that you don't realize. Um,
But
he can easily
get into that.
score 20 points.
I don't want to skip ahead because I want to get into involving that and the rotations and the offense and defense and what we got to do to win. I want to go matchup by matchup first. So,
So yeah, obviously Brunson.
if I don't a fully healthy Halliburton and a fully healthy Maxi, I do agree with you. Maxi's it's a better scorer, and I've never been a believer in Halliburton's jump shot, but it does go in. Put a hand on his face. It's the ugliest thing ever, though. It's the ugliest
I
thing.
agree.
It's like a
It's
knuckle.
like between him and Cameron Payton for the ugliest
Oh my God, did
shot.
you see that thing?
Oh my
What is this
Lord.
guy doing? Who told him that's how you shoot?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Brunson. All right, next matchup. Andrew Numbar and Dante DiVincenzo.
I'm going DiVincenzo. Uh yeah, I'm going DiVincenzo.
Nobody even
He
knows
just
Andrew Numbar.
I know he's a bum. But no, he's a solid player.
Doesn't even know who
But
he is.
no, I know who he is,
Right,
but
it was
like
a fight. um,
um but yeah, I gotta go DiVincenzo.
let me
Like DiVincenzo.
about Numbar because I know a little bit about him. He's a 6'5" guard, combo guard. He can play a little bit of point. Not much of creation. Decent shot. Good defense. Sound defense. Knows what he's doing. Smart player. Fundamental player. Nothing spectacular. Doesn't have a go-to move. Doesn't do anything. So let me think of somebody I can compare him to. Oh man, it's gonna be hard.
I was going to say
Just a normal rotation player that,
who's the guy from the Bulls? I think it's the Bulls, right? Dusomu, whatever.
I just don't the sound. Okay, good
Yeah,
comparison. Yeah,
I would say him, but I think Dusomu is still better. Defensively, I think he's better
no,
than
better than
Lombard.
me. Yes, probably
Um, and I
slightly,
think he's a better scorer too. So
but yeah, I think the sound was better. But something like that, correct. It's just an average player that he has no business starting anywhere, especially in a playoff game.
correct.
Yeah. But
He's
he's
he's more one of those like annoying players, that like just like gets in the way and you just
yeah,
want to like Get out
You
of here.
he's going to start against Brunson, and then eventually they're going to cut him off because Brunson's just going to cook him. He is young. He's 24 years old. He's not their normal starter. If they pull, he's not going to be their future starter. It's going to be Matherin, who's not playing in the series. He's out for the year. Benedict
I was
Mac,
gonna say who is supposed to be their shooting guard? I forgot about Matherin.
he's out for hurt for the year. So Dante DiVincenzo, besides experience, besides the great 3-point shot, the defense should be almost alike.
Yeah.
Um, so we're gonna go Dante. That's an easy one. Next matchup: Aaron Neesmith and Josh Hart.
Neesmith has a shot. Josh Hart has the heart.
No pun intended.
So I'm gonna go with Josh Hart.
Me too.
He's gonna out rebound
Me too.
pretty much everybody besides Miles Turner in that team, I think. Um, and Josh Hart just does everything. Like doesn't do anything great except for rebounding, but does everything pretty well, right? Um, and he'll be covering the second best defender in the game, the second best offensive player, right? Um, because I think OG will be on. I don't know who OG will be on, but
Probably.
um, I think he'll be mixing between Halliburton and Siakam. All right, whoever's hot,
Yeah,
whoever's giving them the
over
most
staying on the
ball.
bench, stuff like that. But I think most of
Yeah,
the time you're gonna see OG on Siakam, and you're gonna see Josh Hart on Halliburton.
Halliburton.
You're gonna see McBride on Halliburton.
Yeah,
I think to start the yeah, because Neesmith and Dunbar, you're not gonna see too much on them. I like
nah,
Neesmith.
Brunson's gonna be on Numbard.
Correct. Neesmith, I like him better than Dunbar. I like his defensive tenacity. You know, I wanted to draft him. You know,
Yeah, I know.
he was my one
I
of my
wanted him too, and then he was a bum with the Celtics.
was
So
a bum, kind of young. He's still not there yet. His 3-point shot
correct.
only came this year because it was not there the first 3 years. It wasn't good averaging, but he was an elite 3-point shooter in college, which usually translates a little bit. If you're elite, you're going to be good at least. He did have a good shot this year, 41%. Good defensive tenacity. When's he a free agent? Because they're going to have to pay him. People are going to pay for a player like that. He's a 3-point, 3-and-D player.
Yeah,
If he was an inch or two taller, he'd get close to the max. That's crazy to say that, but because he's not. He's only gonna
yeah. I
get up.
think he's like what 6'5".
Yeah, he's 6'5", correct.
Yeah,
Which I want to mention something about their heights.
he's like he's like a Josh Hart, but with a better shot,
Not
right?
as much as a good rebounder
Correct.
and he makes bonehead plays. That's the thing I don't like about Neesmith that you don't see in the box. Oh, they signed him already. 3 years, 11. The next 3 years, he signed for 11 million. That's a steal. 11 million per year in the next 3 years. They were
Yeah,
smart. They did a good play. Good job by them. Good contract, 11 million per year. That's a Dante DiVincenzo contract like us.
yeah.
I wanted him to be a free agent. Well, they're smart. They signed him up, and hopefully we can get him somehow, steal him away. But anyway, um, yeah, he's not as he makes bonehead plays. Like I watched a lot of the Knicks Pacers games this year, a lot because our arch rival Mike is a Pacers fan. So when I watch games, you see stuff like he has nice dunks, very athletic dunks, but he makes dumb mistakes. This is a young team. This is a young
The
team.
young team, they're inexperienced, right?
Yakum is not, and Miles Turner is not young, but everybody
Correct.
else is young. Everybody else is young. Even
I
the
don't think Miles Turner ever played in the playoffs besides this year.
Yeah, they were making it with Sabonis and um what's the
Oh
guy
yeah,
Blazers, the point guard.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I know who you're talking about.
they had a little
Yeah,
thing.
but they sucked.
They had Oladipo too. He's been there for a long time. He's over 30 years old, I think.
Miles Turner. I
Yeah,
think he's just 30 or like 30, 31.
he's 30, just turning 30. But
He's a solid player. I like him.
yeah, he'll never be an all-star. He had his
No,
chance maybe 1 year. Good stuff. But we're not there. Let's just keep going
yeah,
down. So Josh Hart, right? Yeah, he's 28.
yes, Josh Hart.
I think Miles Turner got drafted for Porzingis, bro, and Brooke Lopez, if I'm not mistaken. No, maybe not Brooke Lopez, but I think Porzingis. Oh, whatever. We'll look it up eventually. Josh Hart. Next, Siakam and OG. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I would say OG on the defense. Siakam is obviously a better scorer. Not much of a better scorer, but he does score more than OG.
That is
Um,
a shooter percentage wise.
I guess.
very
I
inconsistent.
think I think they're kind of like the same, I would say, 3-point shooting.
I think OG's a good 3-point shooter. He's just been hurt a little bit this year, but he's his whole career he's been a good 3-point shooter. See OG. Let me see where Siakam's at 38. Shot 31% this last year. 30. Actually he shot better when he got to the Pacers. Everybody shoots better when he gets to the Pacers. So he's at
Yeah, I mean,
33% average career for Siakam. I'm gonna say Siakam's a better player.
gotta
I'm
give him
gonna
one.
say I'd rather have Siakam because one's old, the other one's OG's 26, 2027, and Siakam's like 31. And Siakam, if you look at the 3-point percentage, uh OG shot 39. He's a 37% career shooter. Siakam shot 37 and he's a 33% career 3-point shooter. So OG is the better 3-point shooter.
I think with this series, they're gonna heavily rely on Siakam with the playoff experience and stuff like that. And that I think that's gonna be a problem for Siakam. I think he'll deliver. I think he'll score 20, 30 points, but they're really gonna rely on him to try to carry them, to the next round. And I think eventually that's going to hurt them. Um,
So you say OG
so
Siakam on this one?
to give them one, I'll say Siakam. I hope you're listening, OG. Prove me wrong. But honestly, I think OG is the better player. Um,
I'd rather have
so
OG, but I think because we don't want to sound like Knicks fanatics, we're gonna
correct.
Siakam.
Yeah, I'll give him Siakam.
Okay, the next one. Miles Turner and Hartenstein. Hartenstein.
Definitely Miles Turner.
Me too, I
He
agree.
is he is the better center. Not by much, but he can shoot. Um, might be a slightly better rebounder.
No, I think
Uh,
Hartenstein's a better
you
rebound.
think so?
Yeah. Hartenstein's a
Uh,
great offensive rebounder. Not as good as Mitchell. Mitchell's elite. Mitchell's arguably the best offensive rebounder in the NBA. So you can't
yep.
compare anybody to Mitchell, but Hartenstein's probably top 10. And
But
Miles
once again, it's
always
like,
trouble rebounding.
once Miles Turner sits, who do you have? You know
Uh,
what I mean?
we can get into the backups in a second. Their backup center goes is Isaiah Jackson and Jalen Smith. But when they played in the Milwaukee Bucks, they played Jalen Smith the first game, never played again. They tried Isaiah Jackson another game, that didn't work. They were playing this guy for about 38 minutes, 35 minutes, 38 minutes. So they were looking for like 10 to 12 minutes. They played Obi Toppin at center 2 games. Very small stints. So I think they play Siakam at center a couple like sparing minutes when Brook Lopez sat down and stuff like that. And if they went
I'm
small, then
surprised. I like Jalen Smith.
but he never did anything. Quite
Yeah.
honestly, he never did anything. He's nothing, unfortunately for him. But yeah, I agree with you. Miles Turner is the better. He has a 3-point shot. He has some offense. Hardenstein has a little floater though. Have you noticed that? Hardenstein, they were
Yes.
using that against Embiid. And you
Yes.
need that because when Brunson gets down the middle of the lane, they were doubling him. He was fine. Hardenstein hard. There's a little push, you know. It was working. It was good. I'm pretty sure he practiced that like crazy. Um, so yeah, so we both agree on Miles Turner. And then six man, I'm gonna mention two players for each team. For the Pacers, it was Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell. And for the Knicks, it's McBride and Mitchell Robinson. Who you got? One
Scoring wise, they're
right?
better.
One's off,
What?
one's
Yeah,
deep.
one's offense, one's strictly defense. So scoring wise, they are. And Mitchell McConnell is that player that you just hate.
Pesky.
When,
Oh, what Josh Hart said?
oh man,
Pesky. I mean, it's funny that it's very ironic for Hart to say that because he's pesky himself. But you got to keep like if you're on the court, you got to keep an eye on TJ McConnell because he's gonna come from behind you, steal the ball. He is annoying. I wanted him when we
I
when
did too, but
we know they weren't gonna.
no,
He's an icon there.
yeah, he's like the best player they've ever had.
Reminds me of remember Deladova with the Cleveland Cavaliers when he was
Yeah,
guarding Steph Curry.
yeah, he's just like one of. Yeah, he'll probably guard Brunson. Do a
Career
good job too.
better not guard Brunson like that.
This is
But
where you need to get like Obi Toppin's brother just like hit him, you know. Like, go in.
Outboy him a little.
Yeah.
But who you going? Obi, McConnell, McBride, Mitchell.
Uh, I'm a defense guy, so definitely with
Okay.
the Knicks.
I know you.
But I know he's going to be a little shit, uh, McConnell.
You know
So
what?
I'm not looking forward to that.
It's funny because I don't think Pacers need offense. I think they need defense. And I don't think Knicks need off defense. They need offense. Now, McBride does provide 3-point shooting. He does provide shooting, period. And Mitchell does provide offense by providing offensive rebounds. TJ McConnell does provide peskiness defense. Obi provides no defense. And we know that firsthand. So I guess I can go with the Knicks backups because you always have the Alex Burks looming there. Bogdanovich is gone, so that hurts. Or else, again, a lot of injuries on this team, man. Two major rotation players with Randall and Bogdanovich, and it's noticing. We can't lose any.
Yeah,
We really, literally cannot lose one more player because
yeah,
then
it'll be over.
you play Burks, you might play like Sims and stuff like that. Like you're gonna play really deep into your bench, you know. So I guess we're gonna go with I guess Knicks. You're right. I agree with you. Tell me who's the X factor in this series. Who is your? Don't say Brunson because he's not an X factor. Don't say Halliburton or Siakam. If you're a Pacers fan, I was gonna say Mike. Who's your X factor there? For me, I'm going to say for the Pacers X factor, it's going to be Neesmith or Miles Turner. They gotta be Neesmith's got to score and play good defense, and Miles Turner's got to score and shut down
I'm
the.
gonna say Miles Turner or Obi Toppin.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
I think Miles Turner has to play great defense, right? Kind of compensate the lack of defense that they don't have. And then Obi Toppin, since he has absolutely no defense, he needs to make that up with offense, right? And be that spark for them. I think he will have one solid game, and I think after that he's not going to
Indiana,
do
man.
much. I have that feeling. He could prove me wrong though, hopefully not. But you know,
Oh,
I
okay. So
think one game he'll score like 25 points, and he'll think that he's like, oh, I'm the ninth pick. Like, this is why you guys got rid of me. And you'll hear Clyde like, oh, the Knicks traded him, and then
now tell me who is more importantly, what is your X factor for the Knicks? It
so
cannot
for the
be
Knicks,
not be
yeah, obviously not Brunson.
an X
Um,
answer with Hart 3-point shooting.
I'm not I'm not gonna do Hart because I'm pretty sure I know what Hart is going to provide. I'm not gonna say DiVincenzo, even though I thought DiVincenzo was for the Sixers series. I'm gonna go a little deeper than that, and I'm going to say McBride.
Okay.
I think since we don't really have much of a bench for scoring, I think those minutes that McBride does come in, he really needs to be the spark plug to get both sides going. Um, doesn't have to be much, but when you're playing those like 4 minutes and Brunson's not on the field, you need to be able to score those like 4 to 6 points, you know, without much trouble, or kind of like get, 3, 4 assists. So
Man, it's tough. It's tough. So I'm not going to say McBride. I think I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think McBride's going to be a huge X factor because I think this guy's going to play these guys 40 plus minutes. I think we're not going to see Dante DiVincenzo get benched this time because there is nobody too fast, too good, uh, guard wise for them to bench Dante. Because that's our weakness a little bit. Two guards who are not great defensively between Brunson and Dante. So my X factor will be I was thinking between three players, Dante scoring 20 points a game, OG's offense needs to be there, or Hartenstein too, needs to feel his presence. So I'm going to say I think no matter what, I think Dante's gonna have a good series this time. So I'm gonna say OG. I'm gonna say OG. His all around play needs to be His offense needs to be. He had one game, I think he scored 19 points, something like that. I needed to see that almost 4 out of 6 games. I need to see that 60 to 70% of the game, this series, and I think we could win. I think we could win.
See, I'm not too worried about the starting lineup. I think they're gonna do their part. I think it's really when, the starting lineup needs to sit for a little bit, right? Where are you going to get production? Um, so that's where I kind of said McBride, right? And you saw it in game one. He pretty much carried the team. If it wasn't for him, we would have probably lost game one as well. Um, so you kind of want to see that still. And he was doing it in game two, game three, and then he kind of just like died down. He wasn't hitting his shots and stuff. So, um, yeah, I think if he plays like how he played game one, it'll be easy. No bogey. We're not gonna miss him too much as long as McBride can step up. What I am gonna love to see is that we're finally gonna play a center that, you know, like it, like I said, Embiid, even though he was hurt, man, what an animal this guy is. I mean, he was hitting the shots like a robot, dude. Like he wouldn't miss. No matter what you did, you put the hand in the face and whatever, he
The
would just
difference
make
is
it in.
there is nobody you have to double,
Yeah.
you know? So it's going to be a team versus team effort.
So it's gonna be nice to see Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson, I think, just like killed the boards, in my opinion.
I looked it up, and the Pacers were 26 in rebounding this year. So
Yeah,
I,
they're one of the worst.
yeah, um, I do think we're gonna have an advantage again. Uh, 3-point shooting, we were neck and neck in makes and percentage. Okay, so let me try to remember real quick. On offensive rating, we were ninth. Pacers were second. On defensive rating, Pacers were 25th, 26th, or 24 to 26. We were 10th to finish the year. So we're a top 10 rating on both offense and defense. They just happen to be an elite offensive rating. They're willing to give up defense for offense, but in the playoffs, let's see if that works, man.
Right.
That works. I mean, I think Halliburton has to play like the pre-Halliburton hurt for them to have a chance to win.
Yeah.
We're making
And I
every
think, in my opinion, I think if we lose this series, it's going to be because of us. Right.
we beat ourselves.
Um, Correct. Kind of like how we did with game five, right? Where we just messed up completely, closing out the game.
That Brunson has another like he was game one and game two very low. There's always a chance he can do 2 games like that, but I think one of those 2 games, the other team will pick him up, and the other game we might lose.
Yeah.
Um, Before we cut it off, give me your Knicks and what, or Pacers and what?
Uh, I say Knicks in five.
Yeah, I was honest.
Uh,
First.
yeah, Pacers will win one. I think we'll take the first two, and I think we'll take game three. I think Pacers will win game four to not get swept, and then we'll close it out in game five.
It'll be a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah.
Okay. I said Knicks in 6. I was right last series. So I hope I'm right correct this time. Knicks in 5 again, and it'll be great, man. Anything you want to bring up between the rotations? I know I cut you off before when we are talking about like Siakam guarding Brunson. That was pretty important because then you got to switch
Yeah.
to
I
OG.
mean, I like I said, they're gonna rely heavily on Siakam. On both sides. He's definitely going to be covering Brunson for the most part. Just to get that tall. Sorry, my bird is being annoying. Uh, Being that tall defender, lanky defender. Um, I don't think Brunson's going to have much trouble with that. I think he played better defenders last series.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
You know what it is? He practiced with OG, and OG is like the best defender in the league.
But
So
you will see Siakam on, like, especially in the important place. You're gonna see Siakam, and everybody just moves down. I mean, Halliburton's tall for a point guard. He's 6'6", I believe.
yes,
Yeah, so he can guard Josh Hart, and they got to find somebody to keep Josh Hart off the rebounding. I mean, what I didn't mention was I like that they're short because that's one of our issues. We're short. We got OG at power forward. He's 6'7". Hart at small forward. Is he 6'4" or 6'5"?
Hart, I think he's 6'4".
I think so too. I mean, he could be 6'5" if he takes off the braids and let his hair flow like that. So I think he
Yeah,
can do that. But we're short, and Dante's 6'4", I believe.
yeah,
So, you know, Hartenstein, Turner, Turner's not, they're not, we're short, but they are short too. Siakam's only 6'8". So it's just an inch on OG. So that doesn't really matter. So that's going to help us a lot. That's one of our deficiencies that we're short. Um, we're going to out rebound them again, man. We're going to out rebound them again. I mean,
yeah, and that's what's like making me more excited, right? To see like Robinson and Hartenstein because it was such a difficult matchup covering Embiid, man. He's such a behemoth of a dude.
wow.
Like, no, in you talk, Mitchell Robinson before he went down, he was probably the best defender in the league. And seeing him struggle, you get me? Mind you, he's not 100% healthy either, but still, Embiid is just such a powerful guy. Like, it's like, trying to cover Shaq. It's almost impossible. You're not going to slow him down, but you got to just be able to contain him where he's not going to murder you on the scoreboard.
Did you know that
But
Halliburton and Brunson are the number one, number two point guards in the league that run the least amount of pick and rolls? I mean, we believe that because Brunson likes to play one on one. You notice that he likes to
yeah.
play one on one. He gets the team even before he gets. But I wouldn't expect Halliburton, who loves to pass, not to play pick and roll. I think to me that creates everything, mismatches and everything. But supposedly Halliburton plays at least one pick. I'm intrigued to see how they run their offense so much. I wasn't able to see too much of the Buck series, but I'm very intrigued because they don't have too much of a creator. Halliburton creates, but he's not blowing past anybody. He's not gonna shoot off the dribble like Brunson. So I'm intrigued.
Now, I wonder if that stat is because Randall went down. Because, with a guy like Randall, you would think that pick and roll is like your number one best friend. I know like Brunson is not much of a facilitator, but
This year they introduced at the beginning of the year Randall as the pick and roll guy, not the guy who set the pick. They were starting to introduce that where Randall will dribble and get picked by the center since he was such a good passer for a big man, and they put the shooters around him. So they were tinkling with that until he went down, and it was becoming very successful. And
yeah.
Randall was liking it a lot. So I mean, I don't even know why we talk about Randall. He's not there, but if Randall's here, you can't put Siakam on Brunson. You realize that, right? Unless you're gonna put Turner on Randall, but you can't because then Hartenstein's gonna grab every rebound on on Naismith 6'5".
Mm,
Come on.
yeah.
So they're lucky that Randall's not playing because it would create more mismatches for us. But that's nor here nor there. I brought it up because you got the guy right there behind you. You know what I'm saying? I almost forgot he was here.
Yeah, you gotta give him credit. He's been showing up to the game, so
We
it's
have
nice to see. Yeah. But
um, anything else you want to bring up?
that's it. Let's go. Knicks in
Oh,
5.
tomorrow, let's go. All
That's
Knicks
right.
Nation needs to be there. Please, if you can go to the games and support in Indiana, go.
Go.
Make that New York Stadium. Make that a Knicks Stadium. Make them say
And
MVP for Brunson all game.
and Mike, I'm gonna be talking shit. So get ready.
Oh,
All game. All game. But
he doesn't believe in them.
yeah.
That's why he's not watching. He doesn't believe in them. He's not a believer. He knows. He knows better. Anyway, for the rest of you, thank you for watching. Please press the like button and subscribe. More stuff coming on. We might do a video in between the series. Um, one video I do want to do for the summer that is I want to have a whole episode is Brunson a superstar? Whew. Gives me
He
chills.
is a superstar. Get out of here.
Gives me chills just thinking about it. All right.
He
But
is a
we're not
superstar.
going to go into that because we could spend 45 minutes, an hour just talking about it. But let's see how he finishes the playoffs because if he takes us to the NBA finals, I mean, that's not negotiable. Then he is a superstar. But anyway, let's just end the night here. Thank you so much. You have a good night. Thank you, fans. Any
Let's
last
go Knicks.
go Knicks, baby. Let's go.